Awareness, Exploring, Experimenting, Experiencing by John O. Stevens. Introduction. This book is about awareness and how you can explore, expand, and deepen your awareness. Most of the book consists of experiments which ask you to focus your awareness in certain directions to see what you can discover. It's incredible how much you can realize about your existence by simply paying close attention to it and becoming more deeply aware of your experiencing. What the sages have said for centuries is really true. The world is right here. All we have to do is empty our minds and open ourselves to receive it. The experiments in this book have grown out of my Gestalt therapy work with groups of adults and the application of these methods to my college teaching of psychology. These experiments provide opportunities for you to discover more about yourself, either working alone or with other people in pairs or groups. Whether you make use of these opportunities or not depends on how much you are willing to invest yourself in them. As I began writing this book, I often wondered how useful it would be to individuals using it alone, without a guide or leader. One day, when Jackie was typing part of the manuscript, she turned to me with tears streaming down her cheeks and told me what was going on in her. Even though her attention was divided between the typing and the fantasy journey she was typing, she became involved in the fantasy and discovered something within herself. Now I know that the book can be useful to you even when you work with it alone. She later took several of her friends on the same fantasy, and they also learned quite a bit about themselves. One of these friends then went on to do it with some other friends of hers with good results. So I know now that quite a lot can be done even when someone unskilled uses these methods. It is even better, of course, if a leader has explored his own awareness considerably, become familiar with this approach, and feels comfortable with it. This book is an outgrowth of Gestalt therapy, and I wholeheartedly recommend Fritz Perls' book, Gestalt Therapy Verbatim, to anyone who wants to get deeply involved and fully understand this approach. The experiments in this book are tools. Like any tools, they can be used skillfully or clumsily. They can be unused or misused. I would not write this book if I were not convinced that there are a great many people who can make use of it. I hope that you will use it as you would any new tool, tentatively, with great care and respect, and with awareness of your degree of understanding. I discuss a number of the ways this approach can be misused in the section to the group leader or teacher. If you misuse this book while working with yourself, that's your responsibility. But if you work with others, please read this section carefully and keep it in mind. There are a lot of self-improvement books that tell you how to change yourself. When you try to change, you manipulate and torture yourself, and mostly you just become divided between a part of you that tries to change and a part of you that resists change. Even when you do accomplish change in this way, the price is conflict, confusion, and uncertainty. Usually, the more you try to change, the worse your situation becomes. This book is based on the discovery that it is more useful to simply become deeply aware of yourself as you are now. Rather than try to change, stop, or avoid something you don't like in yourself, it is much more effective to stay with it and become more deeply aware of it. You can't improve on your own functioning. You can only interfere with it, distort it, and disguise it. When you really get in touch with your own experiencing, you will find that change takes place by itself, without your effort or planning. With full awareness, you can let happen whatever wants to happen, with confidence that it will work out well. You can learn to let go and live and flow with your experiencing and happening. instead of frustrating yourself with demands to be different. All the energy that is locked up in the battle between trying to change and resisting change can become available for participation in the happening of your life that answers to the problems of your question. Excuse me. All the energy that is locked up in the battle between trying to change and resisting change can become available for participation in the happening of your life that is both passive and active. This approach will not provide you with answers to the problems of your life. It does provide you with tools that you can use to explore your life, simplify and clarify your problems and confusions, and help you discover your answers, what you want to do. This book will definitely not adjust you to society. It can help you to adjust yourself, help you to discover your own reality, your own existence, your own humanness, and be more comfortable with it. Often, this will be in opposition to what your society or your spouse or your family say you should be. If enough of us get really in touch with our own human reality, perhaps we can build a society that is appropriate to what we are instead of what we should be. But most important, the exploration of awareness leads to a continuing, ongoing enrichment and involvement with your life that has to be experienced to be known. A few years ago, on my way to an evening meeting, I met a young woman who had just been killed in an accident. I did not know that she was dead, so I did what I could for her until I realized that there were no signs of life, and I saw that the moisture on her open eyes were drying. The memory of that young woman stayed with me vividly all that evening, and she is with me now. Later that evening, I watched the blood pulsing in another woman's throat as she slapped and scolded her child, and I screamed silently, "Wake up! Be glad you're alive." All of us have been given a precious gift of life, and how little we usually appreciate it. Thank you, dead woman of my memory, for waking me up and reminding me to life.